Welcome to Going 19, Episode 7. In this episode, we continue our discussion of Part 3 of Stephen King's 11/22/63, Living in the Past. I am Ed. With me are Kirsten and Amber. Let's start the show.
And then he goes, then he's talking about migraines. I don't know if Stephen King.
I wrote that down too.
Oh yeah. Are there people who have such headaches, not just occasionally, but frequently? If so, God help them. Yeah, that's me. That's Amber.
I said,
that's your mom.
Stephen King. I wrote down the quote and then I said, does Stephen King not get headaches, apparently?
Yeah, right? Apparently, yeah. I feel like, we're over an hour and it let us go. Well, shit. I'll be a long single one, apparently. I might have to cut it in half. Okay. So good. Yeah, I guess he doesn't get a headache. So you would think with all the drinking and all the right, like, it gets some kind
right?
Hell, those aren't migraines. Those are just headaches. Oh, I read the bottom page. Is the weather the same?
Is what?
So if I go back to 1958 and it's raining on October 10th, if I do it again, is it going to be raining again? Is the weather the same? So you could. I forget what my thought process was. Something to do with knowing the weather would help you do something, but I forget what it was. And then I was like, wait, is the weather going to be the same every time?
Well, but didn't they say that? Who was it? It was raining when someone tried to do it, and then not when someone else tried to do it, because he had prepared for it. Or I don't remember. Maybe it was raining when Al went. I specifically remember Al saying something about that, and then they were preparing for that. But this time it wasn't raining; it was just cloudy, but still sunny enough to be a bother to his headache.
What?
I
don't remember that.
What is he doing? What part are you talking about?
Hold on.
Yeah, this is I see what you're saying. The past is really fucking with him right now. Like,
yeah. This whole section. That's what I said. Obdurate past round 3.
Like he wakes up with a migraine. He can barely move. I like how. See, I think Stephen King does know a little bit about it because he talks about the light. And when I get a migraine, the light's what I can't see.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, you guys obviously know stuff a lot more about Stephen King than I do, but to me, it almost seems like he does get migraines because of the way that he's describing them. Yeah, it very well could have.
I know he did. He says he did a lot of research for this. This is like the only book he ever wrote where he had to have notes and research and all that to like figure out how to like move on. Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe I don't know. Maybe yeah. But I like when he talks. I can't find the part. Like he wakes up to the migraine. He's going down the stairs. The banister snaps. He almost breaks his neck falling down the stairs. There's a big hole in his pocket where his keys were supposed to be.
and then the car doesn't start. But that he was prepared for.
Right?
What?
So it does eventually, right?
No, and when I tried the ignition, my previously reliable Ford refused to start. That was all. There was a click from the solenoid. That was all. But that's why he had previously hired Randy Baker on retainer.
I know. I kind of like that.
Yeah, the guy's smart there.
How did you know? He's like, I just asked.
Yeah.
Because that's one of the things where Stephen King likes to do that. Like, he's like, yeah, I went and talked to this guy, but I'm not going to tell you why just yet.
Yeah, I couldn't figure it out either. I was like, who is he? Why does he need a mechanic? I don't understand. Like, I couldn't.
Yeah, he needs a mechanic because the past is obdurate and he's catching on now.
Yep.
So he went through all this with Frank Dunning, who's, an insignificant little mote of dust in the grand scheme of things. Yeah. Imagine
he's not even done yet. I mean, there's still more. But
this is the past trying to block him from
said when Baker checked the battery cable, it had somehow mysteriously come loose in the night, and there were also 2 cables that were badly corroded, and then the spare tire was flat, and even Brandy Baker said, I've never seen that before.
Yeah, a mechanic never seen anything like that. Yeah, there was like dozens of tiny little holes in the tire or something.
Yeah. Coming out of intersection with 7 and Old Dairy Road. If I hadn't come to an almost complete stop, in spite of me having a green light, my Ford would have been demolished.
This whole section that he goes through made me feel like Ed lied again, because he said it doesn't get more difficult every time, but I felt like there was a lot of difficulty here, because now not only does he have a physical ailment, but he has all this car trouble on top of it.
Yeah, I mean, I do think, for some reason I had the impression
trying to do it has changed as well. Maybe that has something to do with it. I don't know.
I definitely feel like it's more difficult this time than it was last time, though. That's all I'm saying.
What happened last time?
He got the stomach flu.
Then Bill took it.
right.
Yeah.
Maybe
So I guess, yeah, I think
maybe the past had to work harder this time because he avoided Bill this time.
I don't know if it's harder. It's just different.
That's what I was going to say, because at first I thought about it, and then when I remembered Bill Turkett, that's what happened. I remembered what happened with Bill Turkett, and I was like, no, it was pretty hard the first time, too.
Yeah.
Because Bill, screwed everything up.
But in the grand scheme of things, Frank Dunning's nothing, and he's going through all this just for this guy. But it changed a lot. I mean, depending on perspective, because there's 4 people that are going to live that wouldn't have otherwise. And Harry's,
and you're avoiding a pretty major injury to Harry too, even though he lived. It's still.
There's one thing Jake said earlier when Al was still alive, that he said, what I think now is that the resistance to change is proportional to how much the future might be altered by any given act, which is what we've been talking about this whole time. So I think that really speaks to maybe you shouldn't be changing what you're changing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like Final Destination. Death has a plan. It always makes me think.
Yeah. And it'll come
you can try, but it's yeah. Well, it's a little different. I think you can change the past, but it's not happy about it. It's not going to come kill you no matter what you do, that way.
Right, not like Final Destination.
Yeah.
FD, it's the migraine. It'll be a book in the trunk. I don't know what that means. I wrote something down that I don't know what it means. So I guess I got to move on.
On page, it might be going forward a little bit too much, but it makes me think we were just talking about 262. And he says, now that the time had come, I was pretty much okay. I had gotten on the other side of whatever had been trying to hold me back. And it's just weird to me that it keeps I don't know what else we would refer to it, but we refer to this as a being almost, this past, obdurate past.
Yeah. Obduracity.
Yeah.
Obduracity.
I like when he calls the mechanic and he's like, the phone's ringing. He's like, he's probably dead. Had a heart attack in the middle of the night. Killed by
yeah, right. I tried.
No big deal. I'm going back to save these people, but I don't really care if I kill someone else.
Well, I don't know if it was that, but it wouldn't surprise me if the past is still because the reason he had to call him was because all the shit he went through just trying to get down the stairs to his car.
Mm-hmm.
And then he went through the headache and the banister breaks and the keys went.
Oh my gosh, the banister.
The little light fixture cord was the only thing holding them up. I was like, oh, that's not.
That does not sound secure.
Yeah. So then you were on 262. Why did I highlight you? Thea Pierce. Oh, the Grays. Oh, the Grays were.
Ended up being his parents.
They were his parents.
Mm-hmm.
See, I thought it was his. I wrote obdurate because deadly.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Well, again, he shouldn't be trying to change it.
Are those his parents' names? Wait, what was his first wife's name and the kid?
Where are you? What are you talking about? Sorry.
61.
I don't remember.
I reached the side-by-side graves marked Althea Pierce Stunning and James Allen.
No, they were his parents. Yeah.
They were his parents. Okay. So what was Turget's sister's name?
I think it started with a C. Like for some reason, I had like Christy or.
I'm trying to look.
For some reason, I remember reading this, and I highlighted that because I thought it was the wife and the kid in there, not his parents. But yeah, I must have been tired. I think I read that.
But remember, we said he could have potentially buried them there too.
Right. Symbolism.
50.
Clara, and Mikey.
Clara. Okay.
Clara and Mikey. Mikey was the boy.
Right. How'd you do that?
I paged back.
How'd you know what
It's
to do?
written down, so I just looked back until I found it. Unlike the past, the book doesn't change.
Right. The book is not up there.
No, the book.
I wouldn't have known.
Finite.
Look on, I guess.
Finite. The book is finite, which is a step past after it.
It's a dark tower.
One thing at a time here.
Yeah, well, all roads lead to the tower.
I forgot a lot of those Dark Tower quotes. Like, all things serve the beam.
Yep. Didn't you give me something that says that? What do I have? Oh, no, I have Long Days and Pleasant Nights in the bathroom.
Yeah. Thank you, Sai.
Yeah, the clearing at the end of the path. What's Paladin? Sean.
Life is a wheel.
Ka is a wheel, not life.
Oh, yeah, Ka. Oh, yeah.
What's a wheel?
You need a refresher course. Damn it, what was I about to say? I'm not. No, let's just not do that right now.
Okay.
I'm not even going to try to begin to explain Ka at the moment. It's kind of like.
I mean, it's fate. That's what it is.
Years from now. When I woke up, it was close to noon. I went to the front door of the Trackler vault to wait for Dunning. This was 5 years from now. I was waiting for Kennedy in the shooter's blind on the 6th floor. My headache was gone. Why did did it give up?
Well, yeah, that's what he says in the next section. So we're saying now that the time had come, I was pretty much okay. I'd gotten on the other side of whatever had been trying to hold me back.
Silly man.
Yeah, right. Well, he's not smart, remember?
Yeah. I'm moving to my parents. Fuck off. Like I don't want to talk to anybody right now.
Yeah, I also like how he gives him his real name. He's like, I'm Jake. Like he's some kind. I mean, I don't know. I guess he is a hero, but
he did that on purpose. Because at that point,
I know.
You have to kill him once you say your real name, right?
Oh, to make him go through with it. I see what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah,
but nobody knew him as Jake Epping back then. People knew him as George Amberson. So I feel like it was actually a better idea to give his real name because it's the wrong name in 58.
Well, to me, I more saw it. It came off as like a power thing. Like I'm Jake Epping and I'm here to kill you.
Yeah. I think he wanted Frank to know who it was that was shooting him in the fucking face or the heart, whatever, in the chest.
But he had no idea who he was. So what does it matter? Okay.
Jake could have spent the rest of his life in jail for that because Frank hadn't killed anybody yet.
Right. That was one thing he mentions later on is like
his life in jail, even if he had killed somebody.
Well, it's less likely.
It is an interesting question because he knows Frank is going to do what he's going to do, but he hasn't done. I think he's been abusive, but he hasn't done anything that horrible yet.
Well,
that's the whole point. He's preventing it.
Although, that's right. Except for we forgot about his wife and kid. Right.
Mostly he killed them, and I'm kind of with Turkett. Like he would have heard from them at some point in the last 20 years, so they probably are dead. But there's no proof of that. Like he says.
No, I agree.
I only had Turkett's word that he killed them, but
yeah, that's right.
I don't know. For me, that felt like enough. Like I'm pretty sure.
Oh no, trust me, it's definitely enough. I wouldn't have hesitated either. But it is an interesting ethics question.
There's all kinds of ethics questions in here, but
because we already saw him do it once. Like we know what's going to happen if he doesn't intervene. So for me,
the butterfly effect changes everything.
Nah, it's enough. One person. That's the whether he kills them or not, he's still abusive, and that's enough for me.
Every bad person deserves to get.
Yeah, it was like wait, that's another conversation there.
Not every bad person, but if you I don't know. Like, to me,
You're
if you're
abusing your wife?
abusive, exactly.
Yeah.
If you're abusing your wife and kids, you're not going to change. Like, if you're an abuser, you're an abuser. So,
And
like,
that's-
whatever.
If you put it off now, what's to say he's not going to do it later?
Right.
Yeah.
Don't know. That's a horrible ethics question because there's no answer to that.
Yeah. Depends on who you believe.
Even the double tap, I was very proud of that.
The double tap.
You never seen Zombieland? Shot him in the head at the end just to make sure. That's
Yeah,
called double
yeah.
tap. That's what they say in Zombieland. Like, do you know?
Always
there's
make
Is
sure.
that a
there's no bullet shortage or something. So it's
Oh,
then you
wait,
have to shoot him in the head.
when did Zombieland come out? Wasn't that 2010?
Hey Google, when did Zombieland come out? 2009.
So maybe that is a Zombieland reference.
Maybe he just watched it.
Yeah.
And then we get back to the gambling.
Although, wait, hold on. I think it's interesting. Section 12, it says at the end, I cried a little, I think. Those were tears of relief, not remorse. No matter what happened to me, the Dunning family was safe. And it's one of the few times, again, that he cries, because even later on, at the end of this section, he can't cry.
But
Yeah.
he doesn't know that they're safe. That's what I'm saying.
But in his mind, they are.
At least they're not dead. But you know,
It's
the last
interesting
time
to me, yeah.
dies 10 years later.
Yeah.
Like,
So it's like, why does...
It's almost like you have to go back and check to make sure. Otherwise, what if he goes and saves Kennedy and blah blah blah, and all the Dunnings died the next year in a fire? Just like,
Well, Jake's stupid.
what do you do at that point?
I mean, regardless of that, what I find interesting is what connections he cries for and which ones he doesn't. Because like you said, a family that he doesn't know, he doesn't even know if they survive, he doesn't know, he just feels relief because of what he thinks he's done. Versus like someone that he's actually grown a connection with, who passes away, who he probably looks up as a mentor, and he doesn't cry for her. You know what I mean? Talking about Mimi.
It's one of the last things he says in his party. You know, there never was a party man.
Yeah.
Something. Give that.
So it's just weird.
What I was gonna say, but I think I would have to check. Like what?
I mean, he went through a lot personally to save this family. So once it's all said and done and over with, I'm sure he does.
Well, that's true.
I think he's relieved that he did it. He's like, okay, I got
Like,
that.
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying. Like, he vomited up like an endless spew, shit his pants, like basically had his head split open from this migraine. His whole car like exploded. Like he goes through a good bit on a personal level, and he put a lot of thought and commitment into this. So I could definitely see where the relief comes from, and I don't know, it's not the sadness emotion is very different than an emotion of relief.
No, I agree. That's true. It could be physically like him relieving exhaustion too.
That's what I'm saying. Like, he's just totally
That's the
exhausted and spent. Like, he's just like, I'm done. Like, it's over. Like, I saved them. Like, okay, now I can like breathe again.
Yeah, I don't know that I'd sleep like a baby though. I'd be worried about getting caught at that point.
Yeah, he seems to be very
He's not worried about the aspect of it at all. I guess figures he's good. Like, fuck, I can run back through the rabbit hole before they can catch me. Or
right. Like, he's very falsely confident about certain things, and I don't know why.
if you get caught, well, you'd have to make. Well, as long as they give you a bail, you can get out of that. But
Yeah. Would they if they killed someone is the issue?
Texas, he might not even make it to court.
Right. Like, I don't know. I think if I think it's stupid.
Yeah, nothing about Frank Dunning. Tuesday was all Frank Dunning. Chaz Fraddy, Al's buddy. Chaz Fraddy is cuz. Like the moon and the stars, cuz. I don't know anybody that said cuz or buddy, so.
Beatniks.
Yeah, the beatnik was still there.
Beatnik said cuz.
No, that was Chaz Fratty saying cuz.
I know, but I could see. I feel like that's a beatnik
Oh.
type of thing. Like
Beatnik talks like Sean.
jazz.
Like he would be like, "Hey man."
I highlighted the part on page 265 where who is it? I guess that's Fratty that's talking, right?
Like the moon and the stars, cuz.
No, well, he says, when someone like you comes along, a real stampeder who bucks the odds and comes through, that restores my faith in the random nature of the universe. I'm like, that's such a loaded statement.
It's a lie too, doesn't he say? I wondered how random he'd think it was if he could see how Templeton's cheat sheet.
Yeah.
I don't know any bookie that would be happy about losing. What was it, 10 grand, or is that the Florida one? No, Chaz was like 2 grand. Or, no, 4-1, 2
I
grand.
think it was 3, yeah, something like that.
No, it was 6-1. They bet it. So yeah, it was like 3 or 4 grand. So I don't, especially like a small time guy who's not, that's not his main thing. That would hurt.
Well, he even says that, I don't want to take him for all he's worth. Like, I don't want to take him too much. I mean, his wife is definitely pissed.
Yeah,
she won't even talk to
she
him.
seems like one of those people
collect.
that's pissed no matter what. She doesn't seem like a happy person.
Yeah, but he's
I
really...
mean, I could see Fratty seems like, sorry, not to cut you off. Fratty seems like the kind of guy who does, like, he was like, even if he was being paid by Bill the first time, he was still friendly and chatting it up, the only friendly person in town.
Yeah,
and,
I like
I could see him being excited about somebody breaking through, and it's not like he doesn't seem to be hurting too badly from it, so.
Yeah, I mean, he said he still made money, but
yeah, he still came out on
I don't
top
know.
of
If it was someone I knew or had a relationship with, maybe I'd be happy for him. But just some random guy came in and said, "Hey, take my money," and he's like, "Oh, I'm so glad you won." Like, I don't know. Like, don't come back. Like,
really.
and then he says, when some sad sack comes in with the wife's engagement ring and a sob story, she turns into a pile of goo. But with the sports book stuff, she's a different lady. She takes it personal. She takes that personal. That's personal. Like, so she doesn't get it. She's all about the sappy stuff. So maybe that's why she's being a cold fish, I guess you would say. Hunt for the mystery killer goes on. Then he writes Then he writes Turkett the letter.
Right.
I don't know, man.
It's pretty nice of him.
What would you do if you got a letter like that?
I would go.
I would want to know who the fuck it was.
Yeah, I think I would be scared because then it seems like you're like, wait, how does this person know so much about me in my life? Like, I would think somebody was stalking me.
Yeah, the first thing I would do is buy cameras.
Right.
They're like, are you giving me a heart attack? What is going on here?
Well, not.
How do you know about Micah and Clary? Clara and Mikey.
It's harder, but you would. And I know that for a reason.
That's what I'm saying. It would take a lot more money and effort than it would today.
Well, he's coming into 10 grand here in a couple minutes.
Bill?
No, I'm talking about
that's
Jake.
who. But that's what I'm saying. But that's who you're talking about.
Oh well, yeah.
You're talking about it from Bill's perspective.
If I was Bill, I guess it would depend on how I felt. Like if I had been having symptoms like chest pains randomly or something, maybe I would. I don't know. If somebody tells me about a heart attack,
I would definitely want to know who it was too. I definitely get your angle, but for me, I'm like, better safe than sorry.
Well, the fact that he says Frank Dunning murdered your sister and Claire and your nephew Mikey, like he's putting in the page what Turkett has never said to anybody out loud before. So maybe that buys him some credibility.
Yeah.
In fact, it has to.
I mean, yes, I would agree with that. I think for Bill, it would, because that's been his lifelong, mission goal. For a sane person, it should make you even more suspicious.
Right? How does he know that? Who is this person telling me that?
Right.
Exactly with what Bill's been thinking for 20 years. So
Right. So I could see him believing that and being like, oh shit, this guy knows too.
And then we go back to Mr. Keene. Like he really he's driving away, giving Keene the finger. Like why?
Yeah, it's surprising that Mr. Keene is so mentioned so many times in this story.
Yeah, like now I want to read.
It's not surprising.
I want to go back and read it and see if he was actually being a dick in that or if he was being helpful. I can't decide. Well, never mind.
I was going to say, clearly he seems to represent the entire attitude of Derry in this book. Like, just, we don't want you, get out of here, we don't like you, go away.
I hope you're sick.
I think Yeah, I actually forgot about Karen Poulin until he was like, now I have to go save Karen Poulin. I was like, oh, Jesus Christ, this is...
I think he was going to bother with that.
He was racking up the.
Well, I didn't say he wasn't going to bother. I just forgot about her.
Racking up the good
I was like, all right, Dunning's dead. Let's go to Texas. And then he's like, Karen Poulin. I'm like, oh, crap. Like, maybe you don't want to do this again. And that just makes it harder. Like you said, so Kennedy lives, you go back to the future, all the Dunnings died in 1960. It's from some other way. And Carol and Poulin, fuck. Like, now I got to do this again. Like, I don't know that I would be doing some more test runs, I think, till and then once I got it right, then I would follow those steps exactly. Now,
the other thing is, though, we don't know why this rabbit hole is there. We don't know who put it there, but I can guarantee you it's not so this person could go back and do all these test runs and save this random person's life and that random person's life and then Kennedy's life. That's insane.
So you're saying it's not there for Kennedy?
I don't know. It could be there for Kennedy, but I'm willing to bet it's not there for Harry Dunning and his family and Carolyn Poulin and Kennedy specifically.
Well, Al went through 50 times. How many times did he save Carolyn Poulin, I wonder?
Only once, it seems like.
I did, because he said he put her back in the wheelchair when he went through. Yeah, he's done that.
Wait a second. No, he said he blamed that on Jake.
Yeah, that's I said to Jake that Jake put her back in the wheelchair.
So he stopped going after he saved her the one time. That's what he was saying?
Or he had just saved her.
Yeah, okay.
Well, but you have to remember the last time that he went through, he was there for a while because he stayed to observe.
He was there for 4 years.
Yeah.
Because he had planned on killing Oswald.
Exactly.
He's kind of like Turkett, like, just fucking kill him already.
Yeah, right.
We had to wait for Oswald, as I've learned, to get into America. He wasn't even in the country yet, so you don't want to go on a plane to Russia and try to...
absolutely certain. You never be absolutely certain, but I have to be 98%.
I mean, that's generational because everyone that grew up...
You can reset it. Who cares?
Well, that's... Wait, so you're just going to kill somebody if you're not sure?
Yeah.
Well, how are you going to be sure after you kill
them? I can bring them back.
But
all I do, I put a bullet in Oswald's brain. I run back to 2011, and if Kennedy's still dead, then Oswald didn't do it. And I go back and I can figure out who did. But I'm not going to waste all this time. Oh, I got to make sure it was him. Who cares?
Killing Oswald might change the whole course of the whole course of events. That if someone else was gonna kill him, then they're not going to now because you fucked with. Because Oswald said he was a patsy, so he was involved in it, even if he didn't do it. So Oswald never denied that he shot him. The whole thing was he the only person involved? So if you take Oswald out of the picture, you change everything around.
Yeah, but if somebody wanted to kill the president that badly, they're still going to do it. They'll find another way.
I think it was a crime of opportunity. He happened to get the job there, and then a month later, Kennedy happened to be in Dallas, going right in front of him.
The thing is, it's always going to be conjecture, and that's why you shouldn't go back to the past and change it.
Well, we'll get to that. Yeah, I mean, I see what you're saying, and I would probably try that.
I don't know. For me,
I can see just going and shooting Oswald, but you still have to wait 2 years for him to get there.
Yeah.
But to me, it's just not that big of a deal because you can always reset it. So who cares if you screw stuff? You just go back and redo it.
Well, like you said, it's 5 years every time. So what are you gonna? So like Jake says, or Al says something about that's 10 years. You'll be 45. Because he says well, I'll screw it up. I'll just do it again. He's like, well, that's another 5 years. So now, 10 years of your life gone. Are you willing to do that? No, get it right the first time.
I'm also not unconvinced that Al didn't get sick by using this rabbit hole. So,
well, they say that. Did the obdurate pass give him the cancer? He's like, well, there's no way to know that, but either way, he might have gotten it without it.
He got the sick twice in 2 different ways because of trying to change things. So there is definitely some validity to the potential.
And Al's there, and Al's plan is a much grander scale than Jake's. So
right.
The pass bites harder, I guess.
Yeah. Yep. That is, could definitely see that being the cause for sure.
But, oh, and then this is oh yeah, this is where he's called the angel again, the guardian angel. Yeah.
What page are you on?
Well, I skipped ahead a lot, specifically 277, but this whole section is where he's convincing Andy Cullum to teach him how to play, what, bridge or something? No, I don't remember. Where are they?
277.
What is the game that he's...
I think it is bridge.
Yeah, cribbage board. Yeah. So this whole section is just where he's convincing him to teach him on that Saturday so he's not out hunting.
Yeah.
Anybody ever played bridge? I have no idea what bridge is.
No.
I thought it was a card game, but he keeps talking about pegs and stuff. So
I think they're two different things.
I have no idea.
yeah, I don't have a lot on that other than it's what he had to do, and I guess it worked. I like his wife, where she's like, "What did you save him from?"
Right, she knows. Yeah.
If God wanted you to know that, He'd have told you that part. And she had no argument for that because she said God told him, or she prayed on it, and God told me that, you saved him or something. I forget exactly. And he's like, "Well, if God wanted you to know that part, He'd have told you that part."
Exactly.
Like, use my own words against you.
Oh, this had one of the 19s though. It was the card, the hand. Page 275. I learned about the right jack, double runs, being stuck in the mud hole, and what Andy called Mystic 19, so-called impossible hand.
That I missed on the first go around too.
No, I caught that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just 19. I like those. I feel like I need a poster that says Mystic 19 somewhere. Like a bumper sticker on my car.
This section, right at the end of that page, where he says, "The past harmonizes, it also tries to balance, and mostly succeeds. The Coens were at one end of the seesaw, and the Oswalds were at the other. And Jake Epping, also known as George Emerson, he was the tipping point." I'm like, I don't really know what you mean, though. Like, you're the one who's trying to change it.
What does the question mark mean? Jake Epping, also known as George Emerson?
Emerson?
Well, he was the tipping point. What is that?
That's a good point.
What's an animus?
What?
That part you just read, right before past harmonizes.
Oh, animus.
Or saw them, at least on one occasion, carry their animus out onto the... I think Tool has a song called Animus.
To me, it sounds like... Oh, wait. No, I was thinking animosity, but that's not a good thing, right? Oh yeah, maybe that is what it means. Because he says, "I thought of them when I heard Lee and Marina." Oh no. Oh yeah, when I heard Lee screaming in their apartment, or when I heard them carry their animus out to the street. Yeah, so it's got to be some kind of like arguing.
Yeah, it's an argument. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that was foreshadowing.
Yeah, hostility or ill feeling.
Yeah, he wins, and then. Oh, that's 22. He's like, "I won't be entirely sure where I'm going until the brass in the home office makes up its corporate mind," I said. "But I'll be..." Oh, wait. Well, before that. Wait. Who's he talking to?
Where are you?
277. There's a part, 278, where he's like, "I won't be entirely sure where I'm going." Who's he saying that to?
I think he's still talking to Marnie, I thought.
That's goodness. That's supposed to be. You're paid until... Oh, no, the landlord.
Oh, it's the landlord, yeah.
He tells the landlord he's out. And the guy's like, "Well, where can I send your money?" And he's like, "Well, it's up to the home office. I don't know where I'm going, but I'll be sure to write you." And he's like, time travelers lie a lot. I guess you have to. There's no way around that.
But so do, people lie a lot. Like, it just happens.
I mean, yeah, you don't have to be a time traveler for that, I guess. And 3 days later, I was on the west coast of Florida. Like I don't,
Yeah, why Florida?
I don't know. Just to do it, just because it's Florida, I guess. And the west coast is the Gulf side, so that's what Tampa and I think Clearwater and that way.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that means anything, but
It's the better side,
um,
meaning the water's better.
in the Gulf, well, the Gulf Stream goes around Florida. And I don't know, maybe. I have no idea. He doesn't really say. And honestly, I think it's Florida because at this point, Stephen King spends his winters in Florida, so maybe it's just,
Right.
maybe he's familiar with it. So he's always right what you know. So, but why didn't he just go straight to Texas? Why did he stop in Florida?
I
Yeah,
don't know.
You know,
That was my impression.
did you see? I saw people helping people. 2 of them in a pickup truck stopped to help me when the Sunliner's radiator popped its top, and I was broken down by the side of the road. That was in Virginia around 4:00 in the afternoon.
Yeah, I did see that.
And then asked me if I needed a place to sleep. I guess I can imagine that happening in 2011, but it would be a stretch. Yeah, I wonder what part of it he doesn't really. I'm assuming it was the bottom half because then he's talking about North Carolina.
Right. I was like, maybe in Southern Virginia that would happen, not here.
Yeah, maybe in like the goddamn it, Blue Ridge Mountains or something.
Yeah.
Did you see the colored bathroom? That was
That was horrifying.
That was
That was-
awful. Yeah.
right. I'm saying I don't know. I guess because you can't apply today's thinking to 1958, but I'm like, there's no way I would do that. Like, hell no. Anybody use the bathroom that wants to. Like if you don't like it, you go fucking out. Like the white people. Like if you don't like it, you go to fuck out back. Like I don't know. But who knows? I would have thought at the time. Like,
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think it was quite that simple.
no, it definitely wasn't. I'd have probably been as racist as the rest of them. I'd like to think I wouldn't have been. But who
Well,
knows?
he said something about that later on where he's like, maybe it was the time, but I would like to think it's not. I still don't think I would have thought like that.
Yeah. I like how he's writing a book about Derry called The Murder Place.
Oh, I know. And he says, what did he say? Something about this. She's like, oh, I like the killer clown.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, I enjoy the stuff about the killer dressed up as a clown.
This murder place going to turn into a book called It. Serial child murder. I feel like you're disrespecting Pennywise by calling him that. You'll see so much more. That's part of what he is. Like he's not really. I'm not going to get into all this. The next page, he says, Al, by committing suicide, Al had taken away the scholar's greatest weakness, calling hesitation research. I don't know if I follow that. Like, so by committing suicide, Jake couldn't wait any longer? Is that what he means?
That's what it seems like to me.
Why? I mean, it's 1958, no matter when he goes.
But I mean, I don't know exactly where you're reading, but he says that on page
282, the end of the first paragraph.
yeah. And if he hadn't, I would have.
I
But
think
he's saying it doesn't matter if he would have committed suicide or not because he didn't have much time.
It says by committing suicide, he took away the scholar's greatest weakness.
Where are you reading that?
right before 3.
Oh, it's at the end of it. I see. Okay, because I was like, everything before it is against that.
Yeah.
I think my impression is he's implying that he could have basically said he was doing research and avoided going back and dealing with the whole situation as a result. But because Al killed himself, he's like, oh, well, I guess I have to do it now.
Yeah, I feel the opposite. Like,
Yeah.
Al killed himself, so now I don't have to
Yeah, I
do
don't do shit, yeah.
shit. Sorry about your luck, Al.
I don't know. I think that would definitely give me some guilt. Like, oh, this is a dying man's last wish. I should definitely do this.
You know, but they're dead. They're never going to know if you did it or not.
Ed has no. Ed has no.
But I mean,
No sentiments on this.
I mean, it would depend. I just don't feel the need to go say thing. I gotta tell you, like it's not that was Al's thing, not Jake's thing, and I'm like, nah. And like if I was my dad, it would be a big deal because that generation lived through it. That was their watershed moment, where ours was like 9/11.
Yeah.
I wouldn't go back to stop 9/11. Just saying.
You
Cancel me. No. Not because I think those people should have died. That's not what I mean at all. But because you don't know what's going to happen from the changes. What's that quote? The devil you know is better than the devil you don't.
Yeah.
It applies.
No.
What is that quote from? A Stephen King book or just something different?
That's from literature somewhere, or movie or something. Hey Google, who said the devil you know is better than the devil you don't? It's an Irish proverb.
Oh.
Yeah, it's Irish. We get it right more often than people give us credit for. Hey Google.
Just like the yellow card man. People dismiss you as drunks, but really, what's up?
You know what you're saying?
I think he may be a drunk because of his position more than he's a drunk who happens to be
out.
there. Yeah.
Well, I think the drunk could be a cover too. Not that he's not drunk, because he definitely is drunk because he says he smells like it. But
definitely drunk.
I would say more a coping mechanism.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's what.
Well, that's true. I wasn't thinking of it like that. I was thinking of it more like people won't suspect him.
I think he's like the bearer of the turtle. I think he's a portal guardian.
Right. But I mean, I think either could be possible. Either he doesn't know how to cope with the stress of his job.
or maybe it's a combination of both.
I think it is probably both. I think he may have been a drunk before he ever showed up. That depends on where he came from, though. Yeah. Is he even like a normal?
Oh my gosh, here we go. Now we're going down this path again.
Is he even a normal human? Like
I mean, I agree. I think it's very possible he's not human.
Because
not human.
Well, not conventional, not human, but not a conventional 1958 person. Like based on that the Black Card Man stuff, he exists outside of 1958, I believe.
Well, I mean, I meant he could even be a creature, like from something else. Like if he's a guardian, it doesn't necessarily mean he's a human.
Well, I guess I did invoke the Dark Tower there. I didn't necessarily mean like a Dark Tower guardian, but
you guys in the Dark Tower.
There's 12 guardians that guard 6 beams in the Dark Tower. And we'll just look at that. Yeah. So their sole job is to make sure nothing happens to these portals. So I'm thinking that's what he's like. Maybe he's.
Well, he screwed up because he killed himself.
Yeah,
or someone else killed him. Either way, he screwed up because he's not guarding the portal no more.
I think I know why he killed himself, but I hesitate to say because I don't know if I'm invoking foreknowledge or not.
Yeah.
Yeah, shush.
So I'll wait until I read it on the page.
Or just lie to us again.
If we're doing Stephen King,
you're pretty good about that.
This won't be the last time that happens.
It was just funny because you said it so surely. You were like, maybe the card changing colors means it's something different. And I was like, wait, it's only changed once. What does that mean?
Oh, I didn't realize I said. Yeah, we got. This is red, I think, right?
Yeah.
Black, green. We got a traffic light going.
No, yellow.
Well, there's no black on a traffic light.
Right, but green's coming. We know that.
What would you do if you saw black?
No, that could just be the name of it.
I don't actually remember at the end, but I'm saying based on the chapter title. I'm saying based on that chapter title. I don't actually remember.
I mean, for all we know, the green card man could be the guy that owns the liquor store.
What's that?
I said, for all we know, the green card man could be the guy who owns the liquor store, gives out green cards.
Well,
no, that's the green front. Oh, never mind.
Yeah, he would have to be a beatnik then.
Yeah.
I remember who the card man is in that chapter, but I don't remember what color his card actually is. So
Wait, what?
Nothing. Enough of that foreshadowing nonsense. Okay, so then he goes 4-1 on a G. Oh, I guess a G is a grand.
Yeah.
Because I'm reading that with the EE. I'm like, what's a G? Like, G, $4,000? But then when you say it out loud, that's different. Anybody know who Diana Dors is? I've never heard of that person.
Nope.
An apparently never-ending backroom poker game under a photograph of a barely clad Diana Dors. I guess she was like Marilyn Monroe or something.
No clue.
I would have asked Gutierrez if he'd ever been acquainted with a reputed member of the Marcello organization, an ex-pub named Charles Dutz Merritt. So Dutz Merritt's wife was Margaret Oswald's mom's sister. So the guy he made the bet with is friends with the husband,
Oswald's uncle.
Oswald's mom's sister. Yeah, that's too hard.
It is.
Like, that's not as much of a connection as it sounds like. So,
No.
the past
I
not
think-
just it harmonizes or something.
I think that is just much more foreshadowing because there's that whole sense of, I don't even think they get to it, but there's a whole sense of it here where he's like, I should have been more careful. I should have looked out. I should have, and like, but nothing happens yet. Except for, well, or no.
You talk about that last bet he made? Doesn't he say like silly me?
Yeah.
But I'm not I like how the degree cost him like $350.
Yeah, must be.
That's a lot of money now, much less in 1958. Jesus Christ.
Well, considering it's a college degree and he just has to answer these questions.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Who wrote The House of Seven Tables? I have no idea.
I have no idea either.
I know Moby's last name. I mean, but I like the
It's Harry, right?
I mean, to be honest, that feels like
that was a joke. Laugh.
No. To be honest, it feels like a trick question because I'm like, just because the story's called Moby Dick doesn't. I didn't know that was the guy's name.
Well, right, but your options are Tom, Dick, Harry, John. So Moby.
Yeah.
Moby doesn't work.
Right. Moby John.
Dick was a first name.
It still is. Dick is a short form of Richard.
Richard. Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. So like they all are first names.
But it says last name.
But isn't that what you're saying? None of them fit because they're all first names?
No, because I've never heard of a Moby Tom or a Moby
Moby Harry.
Moby Dick. I know who that is, so that's got to be the
Right.
Yeah, but that back then, like when was Moby Dick
1800,
written?
1849.
Was it?
Yeah.
He's also an English teacher, so you know.
Moby Dick was written by Herman Melville when whaling was a thing, which is why there's 30 pages of the types of whale ships. Oh my God, I hate that book. I had to read that for school, and it could have been like 200 pages shorter and been a lot more entertaining.
Yeah.
Yeah, they accept his degree at face value. Catcher in the Rye. Anybody read that?
Nope.
I had to read that in high school, and I don't remember much about it other than it had a lot of cursing and a guy that didn't do anything he was supposed to do. Like he cut class and he smoked weed and he like got drunk in the afternoon. Like, and this is like a high school kid, so
Nice.
I'm pretty sure like kids in my grade read it, but for whatever reason, I was like my class did. Like not every class read it. You read different books, and that was one of them.
it was banned for a while. I remember that. Like, I think our school might have even, if I remember right, might have been considered slightly progressive for allowing us to read it, and that was in 1985.
I mean, it's not that far from. Well, I mean, hell, look at today. We're still fighting with civil rights. Sorry.
Yeah, well, I don't think it was the civil rights thing.
He got this wrong. It's
What?
the House of Seven Gables, not tables.
Well, maybe that's why he thought it was funny, because it was a typo.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Who wrote Seven Gables? Seven Gables, I've heard of. That's
Nathaniel
I was about to
Hawthorne.
stop.
Okay.
I was about to guess. For the record, that's what I would have guessed.
For the record, don't care.
That's probably why those were his favorite questions. Yeah, the one is obvious, the other is wrong.
Right. Yeah, that makes more sense now. I mean, I thought that was an actual book. Seven Gables, I've heard of. Totally, I've never read it, but I've heard of it. Hawthorne is like New England, like. Do you guys know anything about Thoreau? It's that kind of writing, like
yeah,
nature-y.
I had to read that. Yeah,
I can't stand Thoreau. He's a boring old bastard.
Yeah,
I was gonna say that was all sophomore English, like English class, because it was all like British literature and. Oh well, no, wait. Well, Thoreau, that's American, isn't it?
so that's how he gets into teaching.
Yeah, I find it interesting that Jake likes teaching more than writing, because I would say that's the opposite of the guy writing this book. He says,
I remember you saying that before.
He considered teaching a special kind of hell. He says, I don't remember the exact quote, but he was good at it for the way he talks about it. He didn't like it. He was going to be a writer. He didn't want to do it. Jake's like, teaching, it filled me up in some way I can't explain that writing didn't, like that. That's definitely opposite 685, 285. Different than Stephen King, that's for sure. I think he was good at teaching, but I can't say. Matter of fact, he started a class that didn't exist, and he was the only student to teach a class like in their history at that point. And I don't remember, it was some kind of English class.
Stephen King?
Yeah, at the University of Maine. Like he said, hey, we need a class like this. Like, all right, you want to teach it? And he was like, okay.
Not really, but okay.
Yeah. And I don't remember the specifics. It was like because this was like the 60s, Vietnam and hippies and the whole revolution going on at the time. And so it was like, I think it was some kind of current events class. I have to look that up. I don't remember exactly what the class was. But so he was good at teaching, but I would say where it fills Jake up, it didn't fill him up, because he was teaching because he needed money until he became a writer. The only reason he was doing it. Did you come back? What was that beep? Is that my phone? That was somebody texting me.
I was gonna say, maybe you got a message or something.
And then what was with kids? Oh, yeah. Then they got animated at Catcher in the Rye because it talks about how school sucks. So yeah, every kid in school is going to agree with that. I think he must have gone through that, Stephen King.
What?
The Catcher in the Rye, because he brings it up quite often. Mimi talks about it. Deke talks about it. Like there's like 3-4 times they talk about whether and that's like his test for.
If you should be a teacher.
That's Mimi's test. Yeah. Should Catcher in the Rye be in our school? Like, geez, it wasn't that big a deal. I remember liking the book. I don't remember a damn thing about it. I remember liking it. I was no mystic, but I was both an exile from my own time and a murderer. I might consider the shooting, if that's what we're talking about, the shooting of Frank Dunning justified, but the police wouldn't see it that way. Those things didn't make me an outlaw, nothing. Well, I don't know, being an exile from your own time makes you an outlaw. Well, it doesn't make you a criminal.
A murder does.
Yeah, that's a different story.
Hunch think.
I like that, because I've done the same thing.
What?
I mean, had a hunch and didn't ignore it,